Hi, we're back, and I'd like to offer some thoughts about an important New Testament word, he cardia, the word that means heart, and also relate it to the Old Testament as well. So let's get started here. This is a very comprehensive term that is used over 150 times in the Greek New Testament, and going back to the Septuagint, it is the equivalent of the Hebrew leiv or levav. The term is used as the seat of the physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, and volitional life. It's an all-inclusive term. Represents the whole of a person's inner life or one's inmost self. And I think Paul is expressing this in 2 Corinthians 4:6. For God who said, "Let light shine out of darkness," that is, at creation, has caused his light to shine in our hearts, entais cardiais hemon, to give us the light of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. And I think Paul is drawing a parallel here between what happened at creation when God said, "Let light shine out of darkness," and the light that had shone on Paul in his Damascus Road experience. He caused his light to shine in our hearts. It's an all-inclusive term when God or Jesus knows a person's heart. To his religious critics, Jesus says, "You are the ones who justify yourselves in the eyes of people, but God knows your hearts. Ha de theos gnoske tas cardias humon." God knows your hearts. God knows what's motivating you from the inside to the outside. Sometimes heart conveys the idea of rational thought or thinking, an organ of enlightenment. In one of the parables, "But suppose that servant is wicked and says in his heart, ente cardia autu," to himself, "My master is staying a long time away, and it doesn't matter what I do in the interim." But he's fooled. In Acts 16, the Lord opened her, that is Lydia's heart, to pay attention to the things which were being said by Paul. Heart is used of the human will and its decisions relative to Paul's request for the Jerusalem collection, which he calls he koinonia, the fellowship. Paul says, each person should give what he's decided in his heart. Here Paul is appealing to a person's will. In the language of Paul's interim ethic, where he's telling the people at Corinth to really adopt the status quo, but the man who has settled a matter in his own heart or his mind, who is under no compulsion but has control over his own will and made up his own heart or mind. Here we have the expression ente idea cardia, in his own heart, or really in his own mind. To marry the virgin, this man does the right thing. The heart is used as the seat of moral decisions, both vices and virtues. In Jesus' parable, the stomach and the heart, there's a clear contrast between the literal use of the stomach, where food goes into the mouth, then to the stomach, and eliminated into the latrine. Yes, that's in the Greek text. And the contrast there between the figurative use of the heart, for out of the heart, ekgartes cardias, which then leads to evil thoughts, murder, adultery, immorality, theft, false testimony, etc. So a clear contrast between the stomach and the heart. And then in the Beatitudes, blessed are the pure in heart. Hoi katharoi te cardia. the pure with respect to their heart. Heart is used as a seat of emotions, wishes, desires, and it's very important for us to recognize the emotional language of the Bible. In the upper room discourse, Jesus says, "Therefore now you have grief," because Jesus is about to depart. "But again I will see you, and your heart, humon he cardia, shall rejoice, and no one will take away your joy." Paul to the Philippians, "I hold you in my heart," ente cardia. Warm affection and joy, certainly central to the book of Philippians. And finally, heart is used as the dwelling place of heavenly powers and beings. Hope does not disappoint because the love of God has been poured out in our hearts, entais cardiais hemo, through the Holy Spirit who was given to us. And last, he anointed us and set his seal of ownership on us and put his spirits in our hearts as a deposit guaranteeing what is to come. Well, thanks so much, and I hope this word study has been helpful to you.